Hello my little geeks and freaks, welcome back to my book bowl challenge where I will go through a massive bowl of books and hopefully not lose my sanity in the process. Today's book review is on the second installment of the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, and we're talking about Hideaway. Now in the last book, as I've stated in my book review of the first installment, that was about Michael and Rika. This one is about Kai and Banks. The book follows Kai Mori's story. Did not mean to rhyme. This is the second video I've done this week where I accidentally rhyme. It follows his story as he goes through his struggles with his past, his present, and his future. Kai is a complex character. Now that he's out of prison and no longer wants revenge against Rika, him and his friends start a business together. They keep training, preparing for a conflict, a war that not everyone knows is coming. Unfortunately, Kai has a secret he isn't proud of, and he needs to find Damon to get information and keep him silent, because only Damon knows the secret that could ruin his life. The problem with finding Damon lies with him being unpredictable, and the gang needs to go through Damon's father, who's a mafia boss. Damon's father is a vile man. As I stated in the last book review of this series, they are surrounded by a lot of corruption, especially from their parents, so we definitely see it a lot in this book. Damon's father seems to have a way of messing up all of their lives in some way or another. Kai's willing to play with the devil to try to get the information that he needs. Unfortunately, in doing so, he has to face Banks, a girl from his past, who just so happens to work for Damon's father. And she also has secrets of her own and a resentment for Kai and his friends. Kai has to indulge in a plan for an arranged marriage to one of Damon's cousins. And he has to fight against time to prepare for Devil's Night for Damon. Throughout the story, Kai is very much aware that he is still attracted to Banks. But Banks is not the same girl he knew all those years ago. And it'll take a lot to break down her walls and get her to trust him. The problem is that even if she does trust him, she's completely loyal to Damon, unwilling to leave his side or abandon him. Nobody knows where Damon is, and when everything heats up, he finally puts his final play into motion. Are Kai, Banks, and their friends able to stick together? Will Banks betray them for Damon? Will Damon succeed in what he tried to do to everyone in the last book? Or will they reconcile? Maybe rid Damon from their lives forever? Will Banks ever learn to trust Kai? Did they make a mistake by letting Banks in? There's a lot of questions, a lot of answers that get discovered as we read the book. It is interesting to see Kai's thought process. He has genuinely good parents. I think they're the only ones that are not corrupt as of right now. I know nothing about Will's parents, but Kai's parents don't seem corrupt. And he hates that he dishonored them by going to prison. He hates the things he did in prison in order to survive. He has dark desires, but he doesn't want to be a bad person or a disappointment. While navigating his feelings with Banks, he also has to navigate his feelings of unworthiness. Meanwhile, to contrast Kai, Banks is a hothead. She has major trust issues, and all she wants is to be respected, to be valued, to be needed. Unfortunately, everyone around her hurts her in some way or another. It takes her a really long time to realize that she can have a better future, and she deserves to have a better future. But when she's forced to work for Kai and be close to him, while harboring resentment for his betrayal of Damon and doing things she did not agree with, she struggles to maintain that anger and her undying loyalty. She struggles with the feelings and attraction that always arises in Kai's presence. And I think it's interesting to see her find a way to come to terms with loving two people in different ways and allowing herself to be happy without feeling like she is betraying someone. My favorite part of the book is actually at the end when Banks gets a little revenge against Damon's father. She puts him in his place, and while that is oh so satisfying, that's not the reason it's even my favorite scene. The reason I like the scene is because after putting Damon's father in his place, her and Will return to Kai with a not so little surprise. And his reaction is actually kind of funny, and it seems like a cute little display of their relationship and their dynamic together. It also shows just how much Kai is willing to do to keep her happy. I really like this series, and although I have mentioned it in the last review of this series that there's times, especially in the first half of the book, where it feels like it takes a while to read, the tension that builds up towards such an intense climax is worth it to me. I can't wait to read the rest of the series, especially because I think out of the 4 horsemen, Damon and Will are the worst and most messed up in the group. So I'm curious to see how these men will be redeemable and how they'll get a sort of second chance. I also like the glimpses into their past. I feel like it gives you a bigger picture as to why they are the way they are. Overall, I am excited to continue. I am very excited to continue. I know the next book goes through Damon's story, and I think his is the one I'm most interested about. As of right now, Kai is my favorite character, but I am most eager to read about Damon. If you're interested in dark romance with some dark topics and suspenseful storylines mixed with a lot of spice and a hint of second chances, this series just might be for you. I think it's worth giving it a shot. There are definitely some things that you might not agree with. I would check your trigger warnings before reading them, but I love the story. I love seeing what happened in the past, how it affects the present, and like how also their inner turmoil affects everything. So yeah, I think it's a great book overall. Great series. Let me know your thoughts below, and let me know if you have read it or are eager to read it after this review. Until next time, guys, like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be informed every time I post a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy reading! Bye!